Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of the Mythosophy podcast. In this week's episode, we have a chat with a singer-songwriter from London called Nuala. I was going to hold on to this one for a little bit longer because we had the very first podcast was a music one with George from Pink Lemonade, but it's very exciting news. Nuala has just released her first EP, and her first single off that is called "Split Down the Middle." So it felt just right, felt very organic to kind of release it at this time in conjunction with that. So yeah, in the chat we talk about kind of Nuala's journey, Nuala's kind of progression, like through music. And from writing songs at a very young age to where she is now, releasing her first EP, which is extremely exciting. We also talk about the kind of pros and cons to living the busking life, because as you will find out in the podcast, Nuala does a very, very just jaw-droppingly kind of amazing thing. She takes a big risk, a big gamble, and goes and follows her dream, which is something a lot of people think about but don't actually do. And she went and did it. So yeah, I've got the utmost respect, for her and the way she kind of manages to succeed really. So yeah, I honestly wish her all the best in her musical ventures, and wherever she wants to go in life, because she's a beautiful soul, and has got this most amazing kind of Janis Joplin-esque, very soulful kind of voice to her, and her lyrics are very relatable as well. So yeah, that's what's coming up in the podcast. I also want to apologise for the kind of tin can start. As I say, I'm getting used to all this technology stuff. So the first I think it's 8-9 minutes. It sounds like we're recording it literally through a couple of tin cans. But then I realised the error of my ways, and it turns into lovely audio in a bit. So just bear with it. I also thought I'd just say a little bit about the kind of protests or what's going on in America. Because what happened to George Floyd was just it was abhorrent, terrible. I think I watched the video and couldn't watch it all because it was so distressing. Really awful thing. But if something can come out of it, and some kind of change can happen in America, and the way that black people are treated, and the way they're seen as citizens, then fingers crossed something does happen. Because you've got to think the civil rights movement was during the 60s or 60s, 70s, so it wasn't that long ago that racism was at the forefront of the American agenda. So it doesn't just dissipate overnight. It's still there, and it's been shown in the way that black people are incarcerated. Their kind of population in the jails, completely, outstrips white people. So it's a big systemic problem in America, and hopefully with these protests and with people raising their voice and letting their kind of thoughts and feelings be heard, hopefully some change can happen, because it's been a long time coming over there. So yeah, my thoughts, my prayers, my wishes, everything goes to the people fighting the fight, because as that famous Martin Luther King quote said, a riot is the language of the unheard. So it's taken something as awful as that for them to be heard. So yeah, long may that continue, and yeah, the best of luck. I think that is about everything. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. So yeah, just enjoy the podcast. Nuala is available on Instagram at Nuala Music, and I think if you type into Spotify and all the various, and YouTube as well, just type in Nuala Music, then like catalogue will come up. And yeah, go and download and listen to her latest EP and the latest single, Split Down the Middle, which is the opening song, and the finishing song is Keep Running, which she very kindly has allowed me to use as the finishing message in the podcast. So yeah, I just hope you enjoy our chat, and yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thank you.
Swear I don't usually do this, I'm not really used to it. I never thought I'd do what I did, but now I'm back alone, I'm feeling so sick. Why'd you have to put that glass in my hand? Now I'm falling for it. No, I'm not the girl you think I am, but it's too late to show it. I'm so split down the middle, can't work myself out, no. I didn't mean to belittle one side of myself. Oh, now we're in conflict, me, myself and I. Don't know which one's wrong or which is right.
That's good, yeah.
That was very strange that I was doing the dial and you weren't getting. I was getting more and more and more and more and more. Very, very odd, very weird.
I need to take a little picture of all this at some point as well.
Okay.
Maybe I'll get my brother to come in and take a picture of us.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a little.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, first things first. Thank you
Right.
very, 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 very much
You're very welcome.
for agreeing
Thanks
to
for
doing
having me
this.
and coming round.
It's your lovely, your
My
beautiful,
room.
beautiful space. It really is. It's,
Thank you.
Yeah, I was talking yesterday to a friend's mum, saying that there's very few places where when you walk in you feel instantly sort of becalmed and lovely. And I felt literally as soon as I walked in here I was like, okay.
Oh,
this
that's
is-
good. That's
yeah,
what you
yeah.
want. I like the colours and I like a clean space as well, you know. Yeah.
Colours and I mean you can't go wrong there. Colours and clean. It's a
Mhm.
good formula, isn't it?
Yeah, that's very true.
Including your lovely trousers.
Thank you.
Flamenco bits.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So yeah, when you like when I asked you at Whirly and you agreed,
Yes.
inside I was fucking yes, jumping for joy.
I wouldn't not agree.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
All right.
Of course I was gonna, yeah.
Yeah, great, man.
Yeah.
Can we start at the start
Yeah.
with your beautiful name?
Yeah.
Where does it come from?
So I get asked this a lot.
Yeah. Nuala.
Yeah, so basically, it's an Irish name, which means it's supposed to be Nuala. My mum read it in a baby name book and thought, oh, that's nice, Nuala, that's nice. But it's actually Nuala. Sorry, she thought it was Nuala, pronounced Nuala, but actually it's Nuala, which is an Irish name. Apparently it's like a semi-common name in Ireland as well.
Okay.
But yeah, she got that wrong and then got told a few years later, actually, by an Irish person, actually it's Nuala, not Nuala.
Uh-huh.
So it's kind of made up, but all names are made up. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, and it means lovely shoulders.
Really?
Yeah.
Lovely shoulders.
Yeah.
That is brilliant.
Yeah.
I love that. Lovely
Yeah.
shoulders.
Mhm. Uh-huh.
I mean, you have got lovely shoulders.
Thank you very
so
much.
there we go.
I mean, it's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? So it's just like, I don't ever look at people's shoulders and be like, oh, you've got nice shoulders. Or even like, you don't have very nice shoulders. I feel like they're pretty average thing to have, aren't they, really?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's not something you straight go out there and go.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know what? The best bit about you is your shoulders.
It's your shoulders, yeah. So that's that. But you know, a lot of people say that they reckon my name's a stage name. So like, oh, what's your real name? And I'm like, no, it's Nuala. So I think maybe my mum just knew. Do you know what I mean? I was going to be a performer.
Yeah,
I was going to
right.
be a star.
Because the thing is that I was chatting the other day to someone, and you know, like if you're called, no disrespect to John or to Cyril or to
Cyril's
Alan.
a bit of a different
Okay,
one,
well, not
that
Cyril,
one.
maybe Alan,
Dave.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you're destined for it. But if you're called Nuala, or if you're called something like out there,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? The chances are you're not going to spend your life stacking shelves.
You know, I actually read an article about this, about how your name depicts who you're going to be
Oh.
in life, and also kind of forms your personality as well a little bit.
Ooh.
You know, like, because, you know, like if you think of like Larry, you think of like tall, thin guys, you know?
Yes, I do actually.
And why is that? Because maybe like, I don't know, Larry's aren't like that, or Bob tends to be bit fat and
And the bobs, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it's weird. But I do think there's something in that a little bit.
Yeah. So when you're growing up, did it? I don't know. Were you always musically inclined, or did it just come from nowhere, or what? What was the?
Yeah, like I mean, I'm kind of from a musical family. Like, well, I am really. Like, my mum and my dad have always been in bands. My stepdad's a bass player as well. My mum's a singer. She used to play clarinet. She plays guitar as well, and my dad's a drummer. So I've always had like natural rhythm as well. I've always said if I wasn't like a singer, songwriter, I'd be a drummer because I love getting on the drums.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, wow.
I'd love a drum kit. Just you can let it all out. Do you know what I mean? It's good. But what was I saying?
We were talking growing up around music and instruments.
Yeah, but but my mum said that when I was like 4, that's when she realised I could sing, because I was in a nativity play and I played Angel Gabriel, and I was walking in between the audience and everything, and it was my first solo piece, do you know what I mean? And yeah, and everyone was like, oh wow, like she can sing, and I think from then on it was just, it was like meant to be. It was like, and I just found a passion for it, but I've always been around it. Like my mum and dad, kind of really into like rock music, and that was the first kind of music that I started getting into and stuff. And,
okay.
I appreciate more of my mum's. My mum was really into and my dad actually, but into like psychedelic rock stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is a bit bizarre, and but I've started to appreciate that more as I've got older. And you have to be in the right kind of like environment for it and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely, it's always been an important thing in our family. But I'm the only one that's really like gone for it career wise.
Okay.
So my dad does like computer programming, and my mum's like a lecturer at a university, doing like computer ethics and stuff. But they've always been in bands and done it as like a hobby. Yeah.
Whereas you've gone, this is.
Yeah. Yeah. Ever since I was like really young, I was like, I want to be a singer. And then.
What teens as well, like that kind of.
Yeah, it's always. I mean, I think there was a short period of time where I was like, oh, it might be. For a little bit, I was like, oh, it might be cool to be. I quite like the idea of being a counsellor, and then I quite like the idea of being a teacher. But it really, the main thing has been, oh, I want to be a singer. I want to be like a star, And then as I got a bit older, I realised actually you need to do more than just I need to be able to do more than just sing. So that's when I started writing songs, started learning an instrument.
What sort of age?
When I was about 10, 11.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but I think that's the kind of the age where you start thinking about things a little bit more, and I don't know, I started like learning the piano, a few chords and stuff, and I think I wrote my first song when I was like 10.
Okay.
And
Sorry, my bad.
yeah.
Fiddling. Stop
and
now.
Then
yeah. You wrote, so you wrote your first song. You were 10.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like 10, 11.
What was that about? So interesting.
It was called US of A, because when I was between the age of 9 and 10, I went to America for a year with my mum. My mum got a job to work at Harvard, which was like a really big deal for her. Like doing like research stuff. I'm not entirely sure what it was exactly, but me, her, and my brother went over there for like 9 months. So we lived there in Boston, in America, which was like an amazing.
What experience!
Yeah, it was so cool. I've got really fond memories of that time.
Yeah.
So that was really nice. So when I came back, I wrote a song about that. I think that was one of my. That might have not been the first one, but that's the first I can remember really. I don't think it was very good, but.
to even contemplate putting pen to paper at that age and writing music, and even if it is about something just about USA or Boston, it's pretty amazing, really.
Yeah, thanks. But yeah, I kind of and that's just it. And I just wrote loads after that, and I moved on to guitar as well. And I think because I realised that it was more transportable to go to gigs and things like that, so I started learning the guitar maybe when I was like 12.
Don't really carry around the double bass, do you?
Not
tubes
really.
in London. Yeah. Honestly, I've seen a couple of people harping around that thing.
Yeah, no, I know,
Oh
I
my
know.
God.
Or a harp as well.
Or a harp, yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, no.
Good choice,
One of
guitar.
those.
Good
Yeah,
choice.
thanks. So then started learning guitar, just like basic chords really. I've never been, singing is my thing, songwriting is my thing, guitar is a way to accompany myself. It's, I probably should be a lot better than I am now, but I just basically do enough to be able to write.
Do you know what I heard? Do you know Laura Marling?
Yeah.
So when she first started, she was very, very young. And then I heard like an interview with her maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And she was saying that when she first started out to where she is now, she's obviously, naturally with time she's a much better guitar player. But at the time she just had enough to get along.
Yeah.
But songwriting was her main thing.
Yeah.
So
totally.
I mean that will naturally come with time. And with,
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And with working with other musicians as well, because I think I've started doing that a bit more recently. But actually, for so long, it was just, I'm doing this myself. I was in bands and stuff when I was a bit younger as well. Like when I was like 13, sort of like the age between like 13 and 16, I was in some bands and that, like rock bands, but not for my own music. But when it came to doing my own thing, my songwriting, it was always like, I'm doing it myself. And the idea of bringing in other people, I liked the idea of it, but when it came to it, it was like, actually, like, you know, I want the control in a way. And
it's very important, isn't it, for an artistic person to have that license over what you are expressing. So I think it's hugely important.
Yeah, but I've now got to that point actually where, I mean, I had first rehearsal with a band actually a couple of weeks ago.
Ooh.
Yeah, and we've got our first gig together on the 19th of March.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a Sofa Sounds gig, so I think it's on Oxford Street, so it's kind of central. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. Great. I'm like, yeah. And actually, even the first like rehearsal was really good. I think I just got to a point. I did a gig actually, and the guitarist was in this other band, and he came up to me and was like, "You need a band." I was like, "Yeah, I know. Like, I just need to kind of give it a bit more oomph, you know, the songs, because I don't know. I can hear it. I can hear it there. You know, I can hear that it needs kind of a bit more to it. It's nice just me on the guitar, but that's not all who I am. And I think sometimes people can just think that it's like, oh, she's just a girl with a guitar. Nah, like I'm so much more than that. I want to be able to just sing, you know, as well. Like just come off the guitar and just do the whole diva thing, you know, and just like dance around on stage.
Strut your Shaka Khan, yeah.
Exactly, yeah, you know, a bit of that, yeah. So I've like moved to that next level, I think now.
What's it like being with a band then?
Well, actually, I thought, so me and the guitarist, he was just like, oh, let's just wing it. I had this gig on, and I knew there wasn't going to be a lot of people there, and that it was like a last minute thing. And he was like, oh, let's just like, you know, let's just wing it. We hadn't really, I think we'd had like one little practice before. And I was a little bit nervous about it because I was just like, you know, he's coming up and it might not work. But actually, I felt a lot more relaxed than I am usually on stage, weirdly, because I felt like I had that support. And actually my string broke. Oh.
Okay, Karen,
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, no, sorry. My
string broke.
Yeah, my string broke on the guitar, and if that had been just me playing, you would have heard that, me trying to play it. It would have sounded a bit dodged, but having him play some nice things underneath it, carried it along, having that support there, I just felt really relaxed on stage.
I remember seeing Ben Howard once at Glastonbury. I think it was Latitude or something. It was the biggest gig that he ever had. He like came out and said it, and his string broke. And he was just like, "Oh my god!" But he had a couple, but he didn't have the. I mean, the band were there, but it was pretty obvious that, and because he was using that string quite a lot.
It used to happen to me a lot actually. I had this little Martin, which is like a small guitar, and I just thought it'd be good for traveling, and when I was busking a lot for that as well. But it just couldn't take me going for it on the guitar, and I was just way too aggressive with it, and the strings would break all the time. It would go out all of tune all the time. So then I moved on to my now guitar I've got, which is a Guild. But yeah, I'm trying to be a bit softer with it, but it's just how I do things.
I was going to say the like music you play is quite like, it's very passionate.
Yeah,
there's a lot of passion you put into your music.
Yeah.
So it'd be very hard just to do a little.
Exactly.
Although on the way here I heard it's called In
Your Shoes.
In Your Shoes.
Yeah.
There we go. And that's really mellow.
It's probably
for you.
It's probably like the softest song I've ever written. Like it's
beautiful.
Thank you.
It is beautiful.
Thank
my
you.
lord.
Thank you so much.
I'm like welling up in the car, and I was like, fuck you now.
Thank you.
I've burst out into tears a couple of times watching you play.
Oh, thank you so much.
I've literally just like been like just gone, and I've been like. Yeah.
Oh my god, that means a lot.
But you're amazing.
Thank you.
Truly.
But I think and it's interesting because I think that song I wasn't so sure about it, because it doesn't. I feel like you have to have patience to understand that song and to kind of to sit with it and listen to the words and stuff, because I think the words are really important in that. Yeah. But the melody is quite. It doesn't. It's not. There's not like loads of highs and lows. It's quite constant. Do you know what I mean? And I think my songs are very dynamic in general. So initially I wasn't actually so sure about that song, but yeah, people seem to really, really love it. But yeah, it's a different kind of thing to any of my others. So I think you have to sit with it and just listen and have that patience for that one. Whereas some of my others kind of grab you by the balls straight away. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah.
God, okay. There we go.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it. All right.
Yeah, exactly. So.
But anyways, so what's also quite beautiful is that you're showing a lovely, beautiful, diverse range. You know what I mean? Like you can go and play the aggressive ones. You can go and play the ones that are really in your face and really like, look, this is me. I'm Nuala. This is what I'm about. This is a song. But then to strip it back a little bit and show that you've got the other side is a fabulous talent to have. It
Yeah,
really is.
and I think that's something that I've learned the past few years a bit more, actually. And also with kind of finding different sides of my voice a little bit as well, because I think ever since I was young, I've always been just a belter. Like, and I think it's got a lot to do with me being like, fucking listen to me, like I'm here, do you know what I mean? Just wanting attention, you know? Wanting someone to notice that I'm there. So even when I was a lot younger and at gigs and stuff, you know, when you're playing pub gigs where people aren't really there for the music, you're just there for background music, but I was determined for people to like take notice and listen to me, you know? So if they weren't, I'd be louder and louder and louder until they fucking have to, do you know what I mean?
God, we've got to now
So...
pay attention. We can't have a conversation now because this girl's on stage.
I know.
I came in here for a nice quiet pint and I've got this girl called Nuala or something and she's belting fucking hell, Dave. I know, I can't believe it. Actually, I've got images of you like as a kid just being like, pass me the milk.
Yeah. Oh my God, so much. Maybe a little bit precocious as a child, perhaps, you know. But it is just that. It's just, you know, I'm super passionate. I've always been super passionate about it. Singing is my thing, you know, and so, you know, and yeah.
Well, it just comes across, man. You could like, oh God. Well, each time I've seen you has been a step up, and you know, it's just always been an upwards trajectory. But just each time, you know, you're not from what I understand and from what I've watched, you're not just there just because you want to play a couple of like you're just mind, body, soul there. Yeah. You're throwing your all into it because it is just you expressing whatever it is you've got inside and whatever you're trying to bring out, and it really shows, and it is a sublime thing to be around, and very, very fortunate that my ears fell onto your voice and your music.
It's interesting because actually when we were speaking at the fair, Whirly Fair, like a couple of years ago, and you said, oh, I thought you, because I look quite young, and you were like, oh, I thought you were a bit younger than you were, because you were like, but then I heard your songs, and you were like, and actually that's a real thing. It's like, I think it's hard for someone to really grasp who you are from the offset. Do you know what I mean? Of course, with anyone, but I think this is what, for me, that's why it's such an outlet for me, because I think people really get me a lot more, you know, when they hear my songs, and they, you know, and even, it's not just even just hearing the song, it's like actually seeing how I perform, because the way in which you sing certain lines and say certain words have, you know, can say a lot more than just reading the lyrics. Do you know what I mean? It's the way in which they're performed too. Oh yeah. Which is why I always say to people, I'm like, you know, I don't think people really get it fully until they come and see me play live. They can watch videos on there and stuff, but people should come and see me, because I think that's where it's an experience. Yeah, you should call it the Nuala experience. That's what you should call it. Yeah. Jimi Hendrix did it. You can do it. So fuck it. Joe Rogan does it. You can do it. But no, you going back to what you said about the way you perform, your lyrics, your musicality, like straight away I was like, right, this girl's been through some things already. Like there's no way that it's just off the whim, just come out of school stuff, you know. She's been through some stuff, and I feel that when I watch you perform. That's really good. I like that. But I feel like that's one thing that's like, I think people can relate to what I write, but I think it's because this is one thing about this, my style of writing is it's very straight to the point. I'm not very good at metaphors and like flowery language and stuff like that, which some people, and I love that kind of stuff as well, and some people are really good at it, and my mind just doesn't work in that way to kind of come, it's like a diary. You know, the best stuff, when I'm thinking too much, I mean, this is the case for a lot of creatives and stuff, but when I'm thinking too much about what I'm writing, it just doesn't come. But if I just sit there and I just literally, it's just like streams of consciousness. Just letting it flow. Yeah, it, really? Then it's, and they always are the best songs, and they're the ones that people are like, oh yeah, I get that, you know? Because there's no hiding behind anything. It's just like, you know what it's about. You haven't got to do some mathematical equation to figure out the meaning of what it is. I mean, you haven't got to do any formula. It's like, sorry, this is I'm bearing my soul here. Yeah. And, you know,
take it or leave it. You know, it's like
Yeah.
it's here. It's what it is.
Yeah, and I think that's why people resonate with it.
100%.
Yeah, I get that.
100%. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The way you sing, the way you perform, it's all it completely captivates D&I. Like every single time we hear you, even if it's just like around the kind of camp at a festival.
Yeah.
On a Sunday afternoon.
And they're the best
bless your
moments.
voice.
Yeah, I
you're
know.
right.
Bless my poor voice. Oh my god. By then, it's barely singing. It's just like shrieking, pretty much, trying to get through it.
I remember we were sat around at the last Wally Fair, and I think Rosanna or Lizzie were like, "Oh, play that song," and you're like, "I'm not sure I can do that," and I was like, "Nuala, do you want to maybe like bring it down a key? Maybe don't go for that." And
you
were like,
did. I remember that.
"Good idea." Yeah.
Yes.
So I was like, "Your voice needs to be preserved."
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you were in tune there, like with that. You're so right.
I can see because you're
I get too excited.
You want to perform, you want to like let
Yeah.
people hear your stuff.
I know.
And you're like, "Yeah, but can I actually do that? I'm not sure."
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, no, that really helped. But you know what? Those moments, like around like campfires at festivals, like you say, like, or just like when I'm busking, or just like random moments, you know, are like the best moments for me when it comes to performing, because they're the most intimate. Like
Right.
no one else is gonna like. I love playing gigs and stuff. You know, some gigs are better than others. Like I really love them when they're more intimate, when, you know, you can see people, and it's more scary, but like but moments like that are just like, they're impromptu. Nothing's planned.
Right.
You know, it just happens. And I think they're the best times,
When
really.
when you and like just go in and you know
Yeah.
woof, okay.
And Chris, Jungle Chris.
Wow.
Big up Jungle Chris and
wow.
Just Ghana.
Oh my god. When that
I
little
know.
collab happens,
Yeah.
and then you got on stage with them, and it was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
she's playing over a fucking bass track. Here we go again.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I love that stuff as well. I want to do more. In fact, actually, literally.
You've got the perfect voice for
Yeah.
being over a drum and bass,
Yeah.
like a kind of liquid drum and or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yeah, I've done stuff like that in the past. Like I've done a lot
Have
of
you?
like dance. Yeah, like, I've done a couple of drum and bass like things, and like a lot of house dance stuff. Anything like EDM and things. But it's now I'm kind of like, I need to find the right people to collab with and stuff. But actually, there's this guy that got in contact with me literally yesterday through someone else. He's called DJ Nookie, and he's I don't know if you've heard of him, but he's a drum and bass producer, DJ. He's been going a long time. But he asked me to kind of collaborate on a track, and he's literally sent it me yesterday.
wow.
And I was really feeling it. So that's going to be
Right.
something that's going to be happening. So I've not
Cool.
written anything to it yet, but
Okay.
like, yeah, so I'm excited because
All right.
it's recently, and actually even like Chris messaged me the other day and was like, oh, you're just going to take the drum and bass scene by storm. And I'm like, I've not done barely any of this stuff. And then this guy sends me this the other day. So I'm just like, oh, maybe, you know, this is meant to be that.
Pursue Avenue, definitely.
Yeah. I
Options
definitely.
open.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is I'd love to do so many things. I want to be in a reggae band. I want to be in a jazz
Ooh.
band. Yeah. Like I've
Do
done
you know
reggae stuff in the past.
on the way here, I was listening to a song. I actually wrote it down. Give me a second.
Oh, I love your book.
Thank you.
That's really pretty.
Got that in Vietnam.
That's lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think it's ain't falling.
Yeah.
And I was like, my God, she's got a bit of jazz in there as well.
Oh, ain't falling in love.
Is that the one?
Oh my God, I've not played that song in like years.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Has that got a jazz kind of element
I
to it?
guess, yeah, because the chords are quite jazzy. And it
I
is.
was like, my God, she does that as well.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's not just this. She's also got a bit of like a bit of jazz.
Yeah,
in there
I
too.
feel like, do you know Never Knew as well? My song Never Knew.
Never knew.
Goes, you did whatever you wanted to.
Oh yeah.
I had my doubts, but never. Yeah, and I feel like that one's quite like a little bit, got a bit of a jazz element in
It
there.
does,
It's
yeah,
more
yeah.
bluesy than anything. But Ain't
no,
Falling in
you're-
Love, it's interesting you say that one, because like I don't know, it's weird. Like I think songs sometimes it feels like they run their course a little bit,
Yeah,
and then
absolutely,
I have songs that I prefer to play, and I've not actually played that in a couple of years actually.
Okay, interesting.
But maybe I should bring it back at some point. I don't know.
It's do you know, and that's I think that's the beauty of something like this, is that you're going to have a back. If you started writing when you were 10, you're going to have a back catalogue of songs, and then it's going to change with your experiences,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
very very exciting.
Yeah, it is.
You mentioned before about busking. When
Yeah.
when did you start busking? When did that happen?
So I did a bit of it like before I moved to London, so about 7 years ago, just here and there. And then so when I finished uni,
basically I'd kind of gone out and I realized that I could make a bit of money, even just not with an amp. So I wasn't making a lot, but I was working at Sainsbury's at the time, and it was just soul destroying. It was just, I was absolutely hating it, and I was like, I just want to quit and just do music full time. And I knew that I could make a bit of money out of busking, so I was like, right, I'm just going to get myself an amp, and I'm just going to go out there and see if I can make a living from it. So I did it. I quit my job and I did that, and I did it for like 2 years.
Really?
Yeah, I was doing gigs alongside
Whoa.
it as well, but I would say probably about 75% of my income was from busking.
That's a
And
bloody brave, bold move, man.
thanks. Yeah,
Oh my God.
like I wasn't earning a lot of money at all. Like, and you have to, like, you rough it proper if you're doing that. Like, and I'm only small, and I've got this massive amp and a massive guitar on my back, and I'm like having to like pick it upstairs on the tube, and
Right.
you know what I mean. But it's all pop. But it's like the freedom was amazing, and being able to like do what I love. And actually, I literally went out there again on Saturday night. I had a gig, and then I went busking for the first time in, I don't know, maybe like a year or something. And
Oh, I
this
think
is literally I posted it.
Yeah.
Me on the
The
cajon.
song was.
I don't know, because it was this is another thing. That's what I posted about, because we met this guy there, and he was awesome. His name's Archie, and he was a bit drunk and that, and he was telling us, I don't know, about his night and stuff, and he was like, oh, you know, I'm a songwriter, and I was like, oh, come and play something with me. So we were like jamming for a good like hour, and he got up on my guitar and like I can't remember what song it was, but he did his own song as well. And I went on the cajon, like the drum thing, which apparently, Chris told me this the other day that maybe I'm saying cajon wrong. Apparently it's cajon. I keep saying these things wrong. Anyway, cajon, whatever it is. I was I was on that. And yeah, it was just like a really nice moment. I made a little bit of money, but it was more just, and it made me realise why I used to do that as well. It wasn't just the money. The money was obviously a way for me to be able to not, you know, work a job. And yeah, and like, but I got so many opportunities from it, for one, like being able to do I got some really cool stuff out of it. But it's just about like the people that you meet. And like, I had people like sticking there the whole day watching me, you know, and like I had people buy me flowers and
Wow.
really amazing moments. Once there was this guy, and he came up to me and was like, oh, my wife's coming back from a work trip or something. She's been away for a couple of weeks or something. And how much would you charge? I live up the road. I live 5 minutes up the road. This is around South Kensington. How much would you charge to come and play for us when we have our dinner and stuff? And I was like, in like literally like an hour.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, all right, I'll come do that. You know, told him how much I'd like, and he was like, cool, come round, gave me the address in an hour, knocked on the door. Yeah, I know, it's so weird. And he opened the door and was like, shh, come in. Like, brought me into like his lounge area. And you know, there's like those doors that you can I don't know what you call them, but you like double doors that you open up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was just like, just sit here with your guitar, and when I open the doors, just start playing. And I was like, okay. And then he opened it, and like they've got like a candlelit dinner going on, and he's made her dinner, and she's there, and it was like a total surprise.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and like I was just like singing to them in their house for like an hour whilst they have dinner.
How was that?
It was amazing, but I felt like a bit of a fly on the wall. It felt like I was intruding a little bit.
Okay.
Like it was a bit like maybe I shouldn't be there because I'm in someone's house and they're having this quiet, nice, romantic moment together, you know?
You getting louder and louder and louder.
I was really trying to like rein it in, you know, just play all my soft songs, you know, all the romantic shit, which I don't have a lot of. But yeah,
What
like
an
things like that.
experience, though.
Exactly.
What an experience. That doesn't happen when you're playing pub gigs and that sort of stuff.
No,
You know what I mean?
that's what I mean. And it's like being out in the street, people see you like that and they think, oh, why not, you know?
Yeah, right.
And ask you to do some, weird,
Crazy
wonderful
shit.
things sometimes. Yeah.
Do you know I think one thing that struck me just when hearing that is the braveness to take the plunge and to make that choice to let go of security, to let go of the mundane job, the but it's bringing the wage in, it's giving me this every month, to say, actually, do you know what, that's not my passion, that's not what I'm really about, that's not who I am. And you know, many people have that conversation in their head, but then to actually take the plunge, to actually take the step, and to actually do it, to actually go out and just you know, on a whim with your guitar, with your amp. I mean, it's a really admirable thing to do, and just an immensely brave thing to do.
Thank you. But it's not, but it's I don't know, it's not for everyone. And there's certain things that it's just because I I'm just so passionate about it, and it's like it's what I've always wanted to do. At the end of the day, like I just want to sing, I just want to write music, I want to perform, and that's what I'm aiming for. And I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, you've got to risk, you got to take the chance sometimes and risk it at the end of the day. So, you know. Yeah, it was worth it. But I think a lot of people as well. I was having this conversation with a friend the other day. She does music, and she was saying how she's thinking about like doing some busking. She was asking me for advice about it because she knows I've done it. But she was like, it's weird because like, you know, yeah, I see myself as like she sees herself as like a star. And I've spoken about this with other musicians as well, where there's this separation between like their normal day-to-day life and being like the star performer. And kind of when the busking is quite like you rough it when you busk, you're out in the cold, you don't look glamorous, you're all in a coat. Do you know what I mean? And it's like there's cars everywhere, and like, you know, and you get, sometimes you don't get like, I don't know, you get drunk people trying to nick your mic and all this. It's not, you know, it like, yeah, and all the humping kit and stuff as well, you know. It's like, and that takes humping kit.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Humping kittens?
No,
I was like, what?
No,
God, this is a new one. Whoa, London's really taking a turn for the worse when you start doing that on it.
Oh my God.
I don't want to watch a bit of music. Here comes the bestiality.
No, oh my
Jesus.
God. That's taking
Sorry,
too
humping
far.
kits.
Yeah. My amp and everything, you know, like, but yeah, it's not a glamorous thing. And I think a lot of people like that, you know, the idea of them being a star or like dressed up and everything, it's like the glitz and the glam of that side of things. And that's the way they want to present themselves. But if you go into that area of busking for literally people's change, then you're going the other way about it, you know? And actually, this is something that I had to learn going from, and this is something people told me. I've been told before that it was like, I'm a diamond in the rough. And they were telling me maybe, you know, and I haven't totally, because I am that, but, you know, people were suggesting perhaps I should smooth out the edges slightly because, you know, I haven't, you know, but I think it's more about going from being, I'm Nuala the busker to I'm Nuala the star. But I think the point is it's like that busking has made me, like, it's a big part of what's like giving me confidence and giving me that like raw like vibe that I have.
Never
you know,
forget that. No way.
no, totally not. But yeah, I think that's why a lot of people don't do it.
I always prefer a rough crystal to a polished one anyway. Do you know what I mean? You know, if you're in one of those like crystal shops in Glastonbury, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you see those kind of crystals that are like literally just come straight off the rock.
Yeah.
They're always better than the rounded ones. Always.
I know, yeah. It's true. But yeah.
I think the sun's on my side today. I got a lease of life, I feel okay. Need to call around, get them all out, jump in the car and get on our way. Cause there's love and the strength in numbers. They can try, but they're never gonna run us down. Speakers loud, it's like we're on a come up. Fifth gear, but they're never gonna race us down. I'm alive on a high, blue skies. There's nothing better. Hands up, we're on a ride. Hold tight, we're laughing together. Ooh, we'll light it up, and ooh, we can't be stopped. And oh, can't hear us coming. Oh, we take off and keep it running. We take off and keep it running. Oh. Take a stop at the riverside, crack 'em open, pass around the light. Breathe it in and out, bring our guards down. Yeah, this is ours for the day and the night. Cause there's love and the strength in numbers. They can try, but they're never gonna run us down. Speakers loud, it's like we're on a come up. Fifth gear, but they're never gonna race us down.